Are you ready for some Latchkuuum?
Oh, there you are. Welcome. Come on in. Don't be shy.
Come on in. Welcome. Come in, guys. Don't be shy. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody in here. Welcome. Good to see everybody in here. 4 years. Thank you guys for joining us for 4 years of a Latchkuuum show on Orville Nation. Wow. It's kind of unreal that we've been going for that long, but it's just fabulous to see all our friends here. So I want to say hello to everybody who's in here. Let me just touch upon one thing first of all that I saw here in the chat. Dr. Omega says Suzanne Summers, rest in peace. I'm just the first I'm hearing about this. Very, very sad for if it's true, very, very sad. Thank you guys for the news, and our hearts go out to her and her family and her friends and everybody who's close to her. So thank you, Doc. And wow. Yeah. But today is a happy day, and we send our best wishes to this person's family and friends, close friends. You will be missed, most certainly be missed, Suzanne. I think that one of the reasons I'm not sure why I was putting this off for several weeks, but I think it's a good time as any. I think there's lots of negative news out there, and I think it's good for. I want to talk for a few minutes about a few things, and in the meantime, if you guys can share this out, I appreciate it. We're kind of back on our feet on Twitter. You slowly getting back on our feet, but if any of you guys can share this out on any social media, that we appreciate that. We have some great special guests joining us in a little bit. And I do want to talk about, there's a lot of life has its ups and downs, right? And there's enough negative things popping up in life for us to always be, complaining about stuff. Now, I know that there's a tendency for people in the greater nerd community to be very picky about stuff, right? And hello, LDG. Hello, Adega. I'm going to get to everybody now. Hello, James. Hello, Mr. Lindell. Our greater nerd community is really, really good at being, nitpicky about stuff. Now, as soon as we start going on this, downtrend of inferior products, right? Being put out by major IPs. One of the things that happens is that it's good for us to voice our discomfort with it, our disdain for it, our even. But one of the things that's important is that we cannot eternally, I'm like, we cannot eternally prolong this state of negativity. And one of the reasons I'm talking about that, we saw, for example, Doomcock the other day celebrate 6 years of his channel. We're celebrating 4 years of the Latchkuuum show here on Orville Nation. A lot of, in many ways, a lot of channels came as a response to being fed up with what's going on, with what was going on, and it continues to go on with kind of a systematic dismantling of major let's say sci-fi and nerd related products, right? IPs. Now, it's good for us to voice our disagreement, our disdain, our discontent. It's important, but we cannot stay there, and we most certainly cannot stay there for 4, 5, 6, etc. years, right? We cannot stay there on and on and on. And I think as constructive as the constructive response the Fandom Menace was at the time, I think that there has to be a 2.0 here. There has to be a 2.0 response, right? I'm not, Fandom Menace 2.0, whatever you want to call it. There has to be a 2.0 response to all this bullshit. And the 2.0 response to all of this is solutions. Solutions, guys. Many people have put in place and put in practice and put into motion solutions. Solutions are, there are things that are out of our hands, right? And things that are not. You can only badger Disney and Paramount so much about Star Trek and Star Wars. There comes a point where you need to offer solutions to alternatives, and you need to start looking past them. And when you start looking past them is when you will really start to affect them, right? If you wanted to, people, they're go woke, go broke. Yeah, their pockets have been hurt for sure. But if you truly want to go past their, your response being effective, basically, you have to focus on other things. You have to focus on new IPs. You have to focus on we got so many authors in here. Adega Outlaw. Adega Outlaw has been contributing. Kai, motherfucking sexy Kai, author Kai MFS. We got author James Caserta in here. We got so many creators in here. I'm going to go through everybody who's in here now in a sec. There's James. So we got 3 sci-fi authors right in the chat right there, right? And I'm sure there's more lurking. So actually, there's one big author lurking right now, as far as we know, and people who are watching on the replay. But regardless, the idea is that we have to move forward and onward. We cannot stay in the state of paralysis, of negativity, of bitching, whining, and complaining. We cannot be the bitching, whining, and complaining community. That's it. We can't do that anymore. We cannot do that anymore. It takes us nowhere. And actually, when you start to bitch, whine, and complain about the same freaking thing again and again and again and again, you are, in some instances, not always, but in some instances, you are drawing greater attention to whatever injustice is being done to a certain IP. So there's got to be a time when you got to move on. There's got to be a time when you got to stop bitching, whining, and complaining. We got to stop. I'm going to say it clearly. We got to fandom menace. Listen, we have to stop bitching, whining, and complaining. And we got to fucking, we got to take a different stance on things. And we got to move forward, create new stuff, create new IPs. And tonight we're going to have some special guests with a new IP that is a very big project. And and there's like I said, there's a lot of people in our community that are moving on in their own ways, creating new comics, creating fan films, creating all this kind of stuff. And the first person that we have to honor for going and creating something new is Seth. So hats off to Seth, right, for creating the Orville, the number one reason for this channel, honoring a vision of the future that is positive and is, there's that you guys have heard that interview of Seth saying, "I am Hunger Gamed out." Yeah, we're all Hunger Gamed out. That's a no. This is well, we don't want a negative future for our children, for our grandchildren, for ourselves, right? That is enough, right? And there's enough negativity. There's enough negative. You guys all know what's going on right now. You all know what's going on. You all know what's going on around the world. There's enough fucking negativity everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but in a lot of places. There's enough fucking negativity for us to be bitching, whining, and complaining. We gotta be fed up with it. And when you see it, you got to take, guys, we got to fucking turn this ship around. We got to be positive. We got to lead. We have to lead, and we have to create new stuff. And you know what? If your show is going to be about bitching, whining, and complaining, I'm going to go watch another show. And I don't want to sound here like I'm bitching, whining, and complaining about bitching, whining, and complaining. But it is really, truly a time on this planet to stop being negative. It is truly a time to stop being negative. And that means in your daily life, in your daily nerdy environment, in the chats and the shows, in all our community. So let me just say hi to everybody who's in here. And so that is my little talk for starting our celebration today. Let's move forward in positivity. Let me sum it up. Let's move forward in positivity. Everybody, let's all move forward in positivity. And you guys will be amazed at what we can accomplish by all being positive together. And we're gonna be talking to several people tonight. And as always, I'm going to ask, by the way, before we start out, I'm going to ask if anybody, because I haven't done it, and I'm going to let you guys do it if you want to. Anybody from the Orville cast or crew, or anybody related to the Orville that wants to drop in, they've dropped in before. Go ahead, tag them, tag all of them. I don't care. Tag them, and we will have a link up at the top. For anybody related to the Orville cast, crew, I don't care. If you're the guy who is holding a microphone over the crew, you're most welcome. Anybody, I want to give protagonism to anybody who is absolutely even remotely involved with the Orville. Anybody. So as we don't care how small your role is. If you are a guy who's touching up some of the special effects, under Brandon, you're welcome. Just come in, say hi. You guys don't even have to. We're not even going to grill you on stuff. We're not going to. You're just going to welcome you, say thank you. We're just going to say thank you. So anybody is welcome. All right. So you guys can tell that I'm riled up about my negativity. I'm done with it. We're all done with it. We all need to be done with it. How we live our lives determines what kind of earth we're going to be living on, and it's time to be positive. So fuck it. It's time to be positive. Hello, Sci-fi Mombi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Hello, Stark. You changed your name. Hello, Stark of Iron. And thank you, Dr. Mega. And our prayers go out to Suzanne Summers and her family. It's funny. She was always such a symbol of youth, right? And let me make sure 1 second that 1 second. She was always a symbol of youth. And it's really sad that we've lost her. So let me see. All righty. And one more check. I'm just making sure that people have links in case they want to join us whenever they're ready to join us. All righty. So thank you guys for sharing this out, by the way. Let's see, Suzanne, many blessings to you, and we hold you in our thoughts. Everybody go check out Three's Company whenever you get a chance, and just think about Suzanne. Philip Gaming, good to see you. Star Trek Evil Vulcan friend, Philip Gaming, good to see you, my friend. John Sapola, good to see you, John. Sandra and Raymond, good to see you. Sandra Feliciano, good to see you, my friend. Jessica Castillo, good Latchkuuum to you all. And Dr. Omega, thank you. That, by the way, Dr. Omega, I want to thank also Dr. Omega and David Cabeza for the artwork for the thumbnail for tonight. It was a contribution of their artwork, and of course the Orville Nation team that did a little bit of the and did the original, of course, for the logo. So David Cabeza, I want to thank Dr. Omega, and of course those designers that work with us sometimes. Thank you all. Hello, Celine. Good to see you, Celine. Good to see you. Hello, Billiard. Good to see you, my friend. And Bill has some suggestions for us. So we'll have to see. Hello, Yesin again from Orville 24/7. Awesome to see. And Yesin again is going to join us someday. We will see when. Hello, Todd Lehman. Good to see you, Todd. Good to see you, my friend. And Todd is we really will have Todd on here someday. I'm not just saying that. Hello, Doctor, science fiction author and doctor in science fiction. He's not a science fiction doctor. He's a real doctor and a science fiction author, Dr. Adega Outlaw. Good to see you, Adega. Louise Sparrow. Good to see you, Louise. Guys, everybody put in your links. Please put in your links. Usually you guys have wrenches. Put in your links to your channels. We've got new people coming in here every day. Make sure that you guys are putting your links to your channels and your work in there. Hello, Jonathan Myers. Good to see you. Happy anniversary. Thank you guys to everybody who's wishing happy anniversary, by the way. We want the Orville New Horizons on DVD. Yeah, absolutely, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan. Good to see you, my friend. James Caserta, author James Caserta, another sci-fi author in the house. Good to see you, James. Hello, LDG. Good to see you. Hashtag free the net. Good to see LDG. Good to see everybody in here. Mr. Lundell and his groovy movies. Mr. Lundell, please let us know what the next groovy movie is on your channel. Bird of Prey 5. Kapla, Bird of Prey. Good to see you, my friend. Make sure you guys are checking out Bird's streams. For some reason, I can never get to a Bird stream lately. It's been a while, Bird. I swear to God, I'm trying to get to one of your streams. Hello, Jeff B. Good to see you, Jeff B. Long-term, Bird, I want to talk, and I know I pester Bird about this all the time, but I want to do it officially. Bird, I'm going to pester you some more. Unless you don't want to do it, I want us to think long-term about doing a big stream together, my friend. Anyway, I'm a pain in the ass about that. Mr. Lundell, good to see you. Parrot Head, good to see you, Parrot Head. Thank you, Troy Pacelli, for being here in the house. And of course, Troy Pacelli has introduced us to some of the guests we have backstage. And I see one of you back there now. She is waiting. So thank you, Troy Pacelli, for being a seed to our having these wonderful guests on. And Jeff B, thank you guys. I'm repeating names right now. I just want to make sure I don't forget anybody. And hello, Antiderivative Jill. Good to see you. Enjoying science fiction for me is the joy of getting deep space into the details. It's out of love and not necessarily trying to disparage anything. Sometimes it can be nitpicking, but it's out of fun for me. Oh, I actually, by the way, I'm not pointing anybody out by any of these guys. I'm not pointing anybody out. This is a general tendency I wanted to talk about. Of course, Jill has great streams, great reviews, and it's the overall trend of us needing to be positive. So Antiderivative Jill has a great channel and solutions, right? Something better. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Jill, for joining us and putting your channel. Don't forget to put in your channel another sci-fi author, Kai MFS, motherfucking sexy Kai. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, they aren't disappearing in the background. I got to fix my lighting. Unfortunately, the bad properties are still going on. Yeah. So we are waiting for we're going to start the show with a couple of our guests as soon as they're together. We only have, they're not all here yet. Deej, good to see you, Deej. Good to see you, Deej. Awesome to see you. Yes, by other independent creators. Yeah. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Hey, there's Raymond. Good to see you. Both of you guys in here. Honored to have both of you guys in here. Taylor Swift greater than Disney Star Wars. Perhaps Taylor Swift is greater than Disney Star Wars. Yeah, maybe so. Go guys, go check out Taylor Swift and tell us if it's better than Disney Star Wars. I heard that she's going to be like in the movie theaters or something. Her tour is going to be on the theater or something. So go check that out, guys. I tune it all out. You guys are talking about the negativity, right? I agree. Nation. I just stopped giving energy to those things and watch good things. Yeah. And for example, Kai's book there, Kai MFS's book, his sci-fi book, his sci-fi universe that he's created. Sci-fi author James Caserta, negative energy makes mediocrity stronger. Yeah, listen, we get a lot of mediocre stuff. Lots of mediocre stuff, and it gives it power. Absolutely, James. Hello, Kai. King Dolphin TV is in the house. Make sure you guys are putting in your channels, King Dolphin. The Orville is the main reason for my channel too, aside from the greater community who encouraged and inspired me. Yeah, we've had a lot of people inspire us, right, in our community. Funny enough, there's a new Hunger Games getting made. Oh, geez, forget the Hunger Games. But Seth MacFarlane kicks ass. Absolutely, he does. Absolutely. And guys, yeah, I don't want it to sound negative, but I want to really say, listen, we have to be positive. We have to move on. We have to move forward. We have to make new stuff. We're going to talk about The Island in the Stars, right? They just got through their first phase of they got through their first phase of financing, right? Of crowdfunding. And they did really well. They did it really quick. They met their goals really quick. And we're going to put their stuff up here so you guys can go ahead and still contribute. I think it's still open, and yeah, it's definitely still open. And we're going to talk about that throughout. We're going to be putting that link throughout. And guys, again, anybody who wants to invite anybody from the Orville cast, crew, the person who was working the catering that day while they were filming, I don't care. Anybody involved in the Orville is welcome, and we want to just thank them. That's all. And if Seth wants to drop in, hey, welcome, Seth. Yes, support things you enjoy. Don't bother with little things. Yeah, listen, by the way, you guys have to understand this. Coming from the personal development space, if you give too much energy. It's okay to be pissed off, and it's okay to say I'm done with this, right? But if you keep giving energy and focus, and you're you telling people, hey, everybody, look at this, look how bad this is. If sometimes when you do that, you just attract more attention and you give that more power when they should just be ignored. And you shift into your other parallel life where those people are just minimal, or the people who are making crappy sci-fi or that they're just that big in that reality. So so it looks like we have our guests almost ready, and we're going to be having them join us real soon. Let me just get through this. Hello, I'm focusing on netting out. Oh yeah, that NASA. We want to see those NASA videos from the launches, John Sapola. Absolutely. All righty. And Gap After Dark. Good to see you, Gap Stargate. I want to call you Gap Stargate again, and hopefully we're getting good Stargate. PJ, remember the Predator movie, Prey? Well, poster for the sequel is out. Really, a sequel called No Man's Land. Interesting. Set in World War II. Well, that's interesting. Doom Patrol. Awesome. Well, Bill Barkley always has these recommendations. So feel free to put, Bill, you got your wrench. Feel free to put anything you want in there. And if I'm missing anybody, hey, Dee Pensack, good to see you. She was always smiling. Yeah. And forgive me for not spending more time on this news about Suzanne Summers, but we have guests here, and I don't want them. I want to value their time. So absolutely, such a wonderful soul, right? Who gave a lot of joy to a lot of people. And hello, my friend Ty. I think it's my friend Ty. Yep, yep. Good day. There you go. Good to see you, Ty. Good to see you, my friend. All righty. So I think we've said hello. Hey, thank you for that. Happy 4 years. Thank you, Bird of Prey 5. And Bird, I'm serious. Go find us your favorite Italian restaurant in New York City, and we're going to plan an event there someday. Doesn't have to be now. It can be 5 years from now, but we should start planning it. I know PJ's a pain in the ass. I know. Hey, Tink, good to see you. We have everybody in here from Orville 24/7, the whole Orville 24/7 crew in here. Tink, and yes, and again, thank you for joining us, Tink, and Commodore Productions. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Donnie, the Power Ranger, everybody, Connie Cleary. I'm going to make sure we say hello to everybody before we start. There he is, Troy. Thank you. Together we grow. Absolutely, together we grow. And thank you for these introductions. Of course, I've heard a lot about from Tom about Tom and Lucinda indirectly, but Troy gave us an introduction the other day, which was very nice. And Troy, if you don't mind, some of these interviews can overlap in a lot of areas, but in other areas they might not. So if you put in the link to your interview with Lucinda and Tom, I would appreciate it, because if people want to maybe get further perspectives after our little talk, they can go check out your interview as well. And long live the Orville. Thank you, Gap. Thank you, Gap. And Island in the Stars has the potential to revolutionize the entertainment industry and sci-fi going forward. We need to be a part of that. Absolutely. And thank you, Troy Pacelli. Absolutely. Guys, please put in your channels. Troy, please put in your channel if you don't mind. We have to move on and start this interview. So I want to give a nice warm welcome to two wonderful people who I have met recently. I always thought Tom seemed like a really nice guy. I didn't know too much about him. I heard everybody talking about Tom Conkle. I'm like, who's Tom Conkle? And I looked him up, and because I've always heard his name in the background, and he was always like floating around our community. And then we got to know more about Tom and Lucinda, and eventually we put 2 and 2 together, because this Island in the Stars project is something that has crossed our paths before. And I'm just putting another piece of the puzzle together about somebody who told me about this project, I think they told me about this project like a little while ago. So I want to welcome, they give a nice warm welcome, everybody, please, to Lucinda Bruce and Tom Conkle. Welcome, guys.
Hi, how's it going?
Thank you for, and I'm sorry for waiting, but we had to, I want to make sure we say hi to everybody, and everybody is,
Absolutely.
very excited to see both of you. So welcome.
More than happy to wait. Thank you for having us on.
And you're muted, Tom.
Really happy to be here, and thank you for that introduction. And yeah, I've been floating around, but it's inevitable that we would meet and chat because our ideas are aligned, and certainly it is time to have this conversation about how do we do positive change.
Absolutely. And as the writer for this project, Tom, what inspires you to start on this journey of this project? What happened that started? What started this for you?
In this particular case, it was two parallel things. There is a literary antecedent to it, which is all the way back to pulp comics. E. Doc Smith, Edgar Rice Burroughs, a guy named Edmund Hamilton who did a thing called Star Wolf that was a serialized pulp. Moving all the way up to Brin and modern science fiction writers. That sort of space opera, escapist approach, I was not seeing reflected in the media entertainment that was going on. Everything was grimdark, but then it started to kind of echo itself over and over again, and I felt like there's such a much more diverse thing that you could tell in science fiction than just the sort of narrow things that the media was focusing on with films and things. And of course, I love old school movies like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I love classic science fiction, classic Hollywood escapist entertainment. And seeing a vacuum, I went, okay, with the skills that I've been trying to amass over the last 25 years or so, what could I do? What's scalable? What can be executed? And that eventually led to a conversation with Lucinda. And Lucinda's skill set is in indie film as well. And we both said, you know what? Tired of being a waiter, we're going to own the restaurant on this one. So,
Tom, can I ask you really quick if you could you just like either step back a little bit so we can see your face?
How's that? Is that better?
That's better. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to do this on a bed and the pillow keeps moving. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking care of my parents. My parents have been ill, and I was taking care of them, but not in my usual studio.
I'm sorry.
But at the end of the day, she and I have been talking about this and about building a team around it. And so the roots reach very far and deep. And we were talking about this before. The art of creativity is concealing your sources and resynthesizing your sources into something new. So taking from sci-fi literature, sci-fi classic art, taking from, the kinds of movies that I loved when I was growing up as a kid, where there was this kind of can-do spirit that was very, a pulp adventure kind of thing, all of that in the bucket that we put Island in the Stars in. And the real sheen on it is that it has this wonderful hook of being an Australian-based project to tap into wonderful Australian talent, wonderful Australian locations, and the ability to really use the resources that are there in Australia to make something that you just haven't seen before.
Now, can you guys clarify? And I saw Lucinda nodding before in the background. They can still contribute, right, Lucinda?
They can. So because we reached our goal, which is amazing and awesome, the campaign has now gone into in-demand mode, which means it'll just stay active and people can keep contributing to it, which is amazing. And we're so happy about that. Which means everybody still gets to get a perk and gets to be part of the project at the grassroots level, which is fantastic.
Fabulous. Now, how did Lucinda get involved with this project, if I may ask?
Well, she tells it better than I do.
Well, that question is to you, Lucinda.
That's fine. I was dragged along to a premiere of an indie film. And I say dragged because I do often get dragged along to these things. And I'm like, cool, all right, yep, we'll go and support indie films, and whatnot. And it was Tom's film, Trouble Is My Business. And my friend sort of introduced me to the film and sort of said, hey, like, come and watch this. So I did, and I ran into Vernon. And of course, Vernon and I kind of thought we knew each other and we weren't too sure. And then I sort of met Tom at the same event, and we had a chat, and he gave him my business card, which he promptly sort of just discarded, probably threw it away, I think.
So
no. And then I kind of went back home to Australia because I go back and forth to LA and I go home. And
Tom, you didn't throw it away, right? You put it under the table to get rid of that instability of the table, right?
I have it framed behind
framed.
You know what? I dropped the ball on it because Vernon also got a card, and we literally had this stupid conversation. Hey, I have a card with Lucinda Bruce. So do I. I wonder where we got these. And then we ran into her again at a mutual friend.
Yes, at AFM, at the American Film Market, who said, oh, you should meet my friend Tom. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have already. And then that's how it all just started again. And then, we had a coffee at, it was this place up in Burbank somewhere, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, a coffee shop there. And we found out that not only were we kind of simpatico with our work ethic and ethics as people, but that this was doable, that this started to become possible, that she wanted to push herself, I wanted to push myself. So we kind of formed this partnership, this business to make it, being in the right place and sort of having the right project, and just knowing that if we keep moving forward, that the universe will kind of align with it. And we found that to be true. You know, even the crowdfunding was just us going, you know what? We wouldn't normally do this, but let's try it. And once we put it out, we met wonderful people, we made wonderful contacts, and we're happy to say we made our initial goal.
Mm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now, what is the roadmap from here on out for you guys? Because you guys did fantastic on this. Because this is kind of a you're building, right, the project. This is kind of your core group of for putting this whole big project together. What does the roadmap look like now ahead?
Well, basically now we're actually having a meeting tomorrow. We're sitting down and we're kind of discussing all of the elements that are written out in that tier 1 of funding, what we need to address. And the first one is basically get the legal things in place, get contracts in place, have all that stuff squared away. And I always say this to anybody who's asking me, you know, about producing and you know, what's like the key thing that you should do first. And for me, I always say contracts, paperwork, because I learned that lesson the hard way. But yeah, so basically we'll be focusing on getting those things in place, and then working through the list of things that we have exactly as we've got described, and going through and going, okay, now we do this, now let's get this together. So it is basically paperwork, distribution, figuring out, how we're going to move forward with attaching talent. And we have already approached different talent and such, but obviously with the strikes, it's a bit of a balance that we have to keep in that sense, because we respect the strikes and why people are striking. We agree with it. So, it's just a matter of now moving forward with exactly what we said we're going to do and sticking to it.
As you said, PJ, it's essentially building the cash register. Accept the next level of things and capitalizing the company in a way that has people enrolled in it, that hopefully we can show not only interest, but anytime you have a first money in situation of any kind, it's a much stronger argument to go back to the people that want to finance you or want to distribute it and go, hey, I can point to some real examples of where people are willing to put some money into this thing. It helps our argument there.
Yeah, listen, congratulations, because this goal was met very quickly, and you guys are now. Wait, now let me just address the elephant in the room here. Is that Mel Gibson on the right?
It's a liking of him, absolutely.
Done movies with Vernon and who are friends with Vernon, and were they to look at the project and say, wow, this is great, make it happen, they are accessible. But we have to be very careful, because obviously out of respect for his representation, his price tag and all of that, we would never posit something we don't have.
Of course.
So
it could be. There
are infinite possibilities, and that is what one of the characters looks like. And I would like to get an actor who kind of looks like that character.
Yeah, and ideal goals this is who we want, absolutely. But we have to respect the way that everything works and take all the right steps to move towards that sort of goal.
Yeah, but we wouldn't put people up that we don't have. We wouldn't ever represent ourselves that way. However, the people that are put up with a purpose, in that there's either been a calculation to get to said person, or they're on our hit list that we have access to once we have the resources. So It is a very clear idea. It's that very fine line of, you have to have a very clear vision and tell people who you can get, but you can't get them until you get the resources to get them. So you have to sort of posit it, and then put a sheen on it of, and there's a disclaimer. We would never represent we have someone that we don't have, but totally. We also represent someone in that we certainly have no intention of approaching.
And it's totally understandable. You guys just need a Mad Max lookalike for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Hardy.
And I gotta say, he's at a point in his career where I totally see it happening. From my point of view. Let me just say thank you to Stark of Iron. You changed your name, Stark of Iron. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for joining our community in that way. And everybody, there's lots of people in here. Lots of these people. Raise your hand, you guys, if you heard of the Island of the Stars. I think many of you have. If you haven't, you can say so. And any questions from the chat, we will field any questions from the chat from Lucinda and for Tom. Now, how are you guys? Does the buck stop with both of you guys? Basically, is that where are we talking to the head?
Yeah,
head people here.
Yeah,
pretty much. There are two other members of our team with which the buck stops as well.
Yeah, Vernon is one of the producers on this, as is Michael Smith, who is my initial business partner at my production company in Burbank called Luminactus Productions. And he's a valued member of the team as well. And obviously, Vernon is opening doors for us that, a 50-year career allows him to have a pretty deep bench, as far as being able to ring people up. But we ultimately are the final word, both creatively and financially, on the film. And we honor that commitment. Our commitment is to the people that put money in, is to make a good film. And we honor the commitment of people that invest in it. Our job is to make sure they get a return on that investment.
And by the way, I was going through Vernon's IMDb earlier today.
Yeah. How long did that take you?
Holy crap. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Working now. Yeah.
And so many roles that, listen, I want the audience to understand. He had a role in Weird Science that I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we all recognize.
Yeah.
He just goes back and back and back and back. His IMDb is unbelievable.
Oh yeah. He told me a story. He's like, hey, when I was talking to Steven Spielberg, and I was like, wait a minute, when did you deal with Steven Spielberg? He's like, I was the villain in Inner Space. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
of course.
Wow.
And I love the connection to George Miller, who was one of my favorite directors. He still is, but when I was growing up, he was like it. I remember The Road Warrior was the first, movie where I was just blown away at what you could do, and that's a scrappy indie Australian film, and he still talks to George.
And for anybody who doesn't know who we're talking about, this is Vernon. This is the release for the.
There's a wonderful interview with him. I don't know if you want to play it, but one of our EPKs, we have a wonderful interview where he talks about his enthusiasm for this project, and no one says it better than him. He's like a little kid. He just absolutely loves the movie and believes in us, and that belief, movie making is just a huge combination of leap of faith, war, all these things together. And so having people that fundamentally believe in the project puts you ahead of the vast majority of films that are out there that people are just ticking off boxes of, I'm going to cover my sci-fi base, cover my comedy base, do whatever. We actually care about it in a way that we are the stewards of it because we are the audience for it. Might have a mustache. That is very possible.
We might have.
Mustachio. I love it. And by the way, Emily, who is in the center of the poster, that is her. She's a wonderful actress, singer, songwriter. She has albums out, and that is also her there in the center of the thing. Look up Emily Coop. She's fantastic.
Forgive me, guys. It happens sometimes when I
That's okay.
drop my own name.
We took over.
We just took over. It's fine.
Yes, that was
Mark II. Yeah.
That was a bit of piracy on your part, just taking over the stream.
Yeah, you got a mutiny right there.
It's our inner pirate
By the
coming
way,
through.
I love the Orville. Love that show. It was such a breath of fresh air to see someone else's take on a sci-fi adventure series like that. I'm glad.
That's a question I have. How does the Orville inspire you, or if it did, how did it inspire you guys in any way?
You know what? It's just it comes down to two things. I love that he imbued it with a sense of humor, but it was still about things. And science fiction, I think Lucinda is also a fan of kind of science fiction. When it's about something and it allows you to talk about things in a way that comedy can let you tell the truth, sci-fi can not tell you what to think, but gives you things to think about. The best science fiction gives you some things to think about, and you can make up your own mind rather than this is what you should think. And I think the Orville really balanced that nicely. It made you care about the characters. And I loved watching the evolution for Seth had to get it in the door because he's known for comedy. It had to be some goofy comedy and stuff to get it in the door. But then he allowed it to evolve to be heavier and heavier and find its own feet until eventually you got some incredible episodes, like the one where he has a life with his wife and kids and all this. I just thought it did a beautiful job of doing what it needed to do to get in the door, because let's face it, it's really hard to get original sci-fi, as we know all too well. But he was known for comedy, and he used comedy to tell the truth. And eventually he gave his characters where, like, I really cared about them. I really thought it was a heartfelt, you could tell there wasn't a false note that this guy loved science fiction, and he loved what was great about Star Trek, and he had his own take on it. And so I admire him for putting his money where his mouth is and investing his own money in creating a show like that.
Yeah, and again, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you as a writer, Tom. I see these like incredible parallels when I see like the evolution of the Orville. I see these parallels with MASH, because MASH started out zany and then it got more serious. Is anything like that for you? Any feel like that?
You know what? That's a great analogy in that, like I say, you can tell the truth when you're doing comedy, but it's very disarming. But the best drama is done by comedians. If you look at some of the best movies, some of the best things, they have a comedic punch that you take your guard down, and that's when you can sucker punch with the truth. You can really hit them with some real deep feeling, because no one feels more than someone that's supposed to amuse other people. As a comedian,
that's an excellent point.
You get more morose because you feel things more deeply. I know I did sketch comedy, and sometimes it's like, I wish there was a show I could go to cheer me up, you know? So I'm curious what Lucinda thinks.
I guess for me, sci-fi is just, it's everything to me. I grew up with so many different sci-fi influences, but I think one of my sort of favorite, there's so many, too many to choose from. It's too many. It's like asking somebody which one's their favorite child. Yeah.
What did you grow up watching? Did you have particular shows you loved?
Well,
I know you liked Doctor Who, didn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tom Baker was my Doctor Who. I grew up with Tom Baker. I freaking loved him. He was just amazing. But I'm just trying to think what particular shows like really kind of impacted me in such a way. But even things like, Star Trek and Stargate and things like that were really big for me.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Farscape as well.
Farscape as well. Space Above and Beyond was a really cool one to me, which doesn't get talked about a lot. Like, not a lot of people know about it.
I loved that, and it just went away. I loved that.
It just disappeared.
They were off to a great start, right?
Yeah. It was a great show, and it just disappeared. And it was shot here in Australia as well, which I never. Yeah, and it had some great actors. James Morrison is a fantastic actor, and he was in that. And it just presented all these really cool and interesting new ideas. And, I thought it was a really cool show, and I loved it. I've got it on DVD.
Yeah.
And not many people know about that show, which is it's a shame.
James,
Yeah.
of course, is in an Orville episode, and
Yes,
and he was going to be a guest. We'll see if we can get him back. We can reschedule that at some point.
that would be great. Yeah, he's a lovely, lovely guy. That one. Shows like that, but I mean, of course, then there's like even ones that weren't necessarily set in space, but had that sort of alien kind of, like The Abyss was another favorite of mine. And Alien, of course, like, all
You like the regular ending or the alternate ending to Abyss?
I like the alternate ending.
I actually really elevated that movie when I saw it.
I think it did. Yeah.
Yeah, they were afraid to
is
use
that
it.
out,
Huh?
PJ? Is the 4K of it out yet? Did they remake
No,
it?
not yet. They've James Cameron says that it's coming, but it's taking forever.
I looked at that remastered because I have the silver box DVD of the director's cut, and I thought it was a superior version of that film.
Yeah.
Again, tells the truth using science fiction about a lot of things, but ultimately it's about a relationship,
Yeah. So I'm sort of more into I guess I've never been one to go for the big popular films. I always like to find these far more interesting and intricate sort of films that really kind of delved into those side of things. I love sci-fi. I'll watch every sci-fi film there is, even if they're really bad, because I'm just like, I just need more sci-fi in my life, and there's not enough of it.
There isn't enough of it.
No.
I have a question for both of you. Now, I have one of my mentors in personal development was Bob Proctor. He's a very, very, very well-known person who passed away from COVID not too long ago. And Bob always said, when you want to sell something, don't sell what you're selling, but sell the sizzle. So I want to ask you guys this. We're sitting in the theater that is projecting our first viewing of Island in the Stars. What sitting there in the audience, what are we going to feel in that first that first part of our first exposure to Island in the Stars?
I have had this dream every single night, so can I take it first?
Please.
The first thing you're going to feel is about 10 minutes in, you're going to go, oh my God, this hasn't happened yet, and this hasn't happened yet, and I haven't seen this yet, and this yet. And the best movies, that things are piling up to be like, how is that going to pay off? How is this going to? I think you're going to feel a rush. If I do it right, and tone is everything. Setting the tone is so crucial, but also having an escapist kind of feel to it. You're going to have that sort of adrenaline rush where I want to quickly have you invested in the characters, and then you get this sort of kinetic rush of like, okay, what happens next? And it feels like you're just being swept along. And I feel like at the end of the day, you'll pick a character and you're like, I kind of feel like this person right now. I kind of feel like I went on that adventure, on that journey. And I remember early Lucasfilm projects, I always felt that way. When you would come out of it, you felt for a little while stepping out of that theater, you're like, yeah, I was in Peru. I was just, I went and did this. And I feel like that is such a rare, it's often lightning in a bottle, but it rarely is something that people are even striving for. And so I feel like when you're watching Island in the Stars, you're going to feel immersed in a world that feels different but familiar, because the costuming and all the soundtrack and everything are classic, but synthesized in a way that it will be so obvious, but yet you haven't done it. It's like, well, of course, a real space pirate swashbuckling movie set, on this backdrop like a Jules Verne novel, that seems like someone would have done that. But your feeling will be, I've come home to something that I have never been at before.
Wow.
That's a lot. Wow. For me, I was just sitting here going, I just want to forget that the outside world exists, and that I'm watching a movie, and that's the feeling I want to feel, like when I go to a movie.
Absolutely. And I wonder if you guys can touch upon this question real quick. Is it made for the cinema or for streaming, or is this up in the air?
Cinema is the goal.
Yeah.
Cinema is where we want it to be. Because it's capturing that essence again of what I think, both of us grew up with, and that experience of going to a cinema and just forgetting about the world for 2 hours and not being reminded of reality and just going, wow, this is getting lost in another world in a story.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the streaming or the home video is best enjoyed once you've had that one experience of not being surrounded by the mundane. And what I mean by that is if you're watching it on your iPad and you've already had the experience of going into a theater and being transported, and you feel the space more. Like when Lucinda was talking about coming to see my movie, mine was a little movie, but it was the first time I had projected it in black and white. And I saw it thousands of times when I was editing and doing post. But the experience of seeing it on the screen and feeling the space and the faces and little things that were happening in people's eyes, it was like I had never seen the movie before. And I have a feeling that we take that for granted when we go into this dark room with a bunch of people and watch it. We're like, I've got a big screen at home. But there still is something transporting about the energy of watching something with a group of friends and strangers, and it being larger than life, and it's out of your control. You can't pause it. It asks something of you. The best cinema asks something of you. And to think or to experience it versus at home, you control it. And so you're bigger than it.
Let me ask you guys this question. This came up during COVID, and I thought it was just preposterous, utterly preposterous. And this goes to what Tom is saying. And I put this question to both of you, Lucinda and Tom. People said the movie theater was dead during COVID. Yeah. And I think it's total BS. What do you guys, any comment on that?
Yeah, total BS. I think there's a certain nostalgia wrapped up in cinema. And, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, I could be making this up, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that the same thing happened in the early 1900s when they had typhoid and they thought it was going to kill art and theater, like the theater of back then, like live performances and things like that. We're still doing that 100 years later. Like, I don't think it's ever going to go away.
They even thought movies was going to kill theater.
Yeah, exactly. They thought movies were going to kill theater.
That's
Obviously not, because the West End and New York are built on that, on those, sort of on the backbones of theater. So to me, I kind of sat through COVID thinking, not even believing that, just going, no, I think I think people want that experience. They want to go out. Not everybody wants to stay at home to watch something.
We're social. We are social creatures.
Yeah, we are.
That was going to be my follow-up to Lucinda's great points, which is, at a certain point, aren't we abdicating being human by going, okay, if we remove, sure, for convenience, we stay in our little living space and we don't interact. But the larger experience, I'm sure someone tapped Shakespeare on the shoulder and was like, this isn't going to last, this whole theater thing. And so I feel like without the communal experience of going to see a concert, it's different to go see a live concert and say, I was in the same room with Paul McCartney playing, than just listening to him on your Spotify. I feel like in a movie theater, it's both the nostalgia, but it's also the communal experience. There is a zeitgeist of going to see Avengers Endgame when it came out and audiences were electrified and cheering is different than popping in the DVD now or the Blu-ray now and going, I'll watch Endgame. Yeah, you see the thing. But seeing the zeitgeist of the moment, it's a marker for that time period that we need a cultural narrative as a society.
Absolutely.
Not to be too highfalutin, but I would say without cultural touchstones, we break down as a society, because it's already bad that, John down the street is not listening to the same music you are, so that you don't have that common experience. You don't have the same experience of watching, hey, did you see that show last night? It's like everyone's watching their own individual stream show and nothing communal. But to me, being in a distraction-free environment, the specialness of having to make the effort to go, and the experience of it in the moment of seeing it, we don't talk about that time that was life-changing to watch Empire Strikes Back on your TV in the living room. You talk about the first time you saw it in the theater.
And everything that's happened since then, all these big films that have come out and broken box office records should dispel that.
Yes.
Pretty quickly.
Absolutely. We promised we were taking questions. So Tom, does a beard make you a better director?
Well, it's a good place to hang things while I'm directing. You know what? I look better with a beard. I'll admit. I think I look much better with a beard.
Do you think I would? No.
You know what? You maybe. I don't know. There's a filter for that.
Yeah.
I'm naturally sort of like this. I shaved my beard when I was acting in a lot of things like Trouble's My Business and commercials and things, but I love having a beard. And yes, I think some of your best directors were bearded directors. It's very Canadian.
With your permission, guys, I think because some of the audience here has not seen the trailer or the promo trailer, are you guys okay if I play it real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to mute you guys.
I'm not getting sound.
Doing called Island. My name is Vernon George Wells. I'm an actor and a producer, and what we're talking about is a wonderful film I'll be doing called Star.
Island in the Stars is the story of a young woman named Jackie Driscoll, who on a faraway planet encounters a roguish space pirate who has with him a mysterious box that may lead to her missing father, as her destiny lies hidden on an island in the stars.
So my name is Emily Coop. I am an actor singer-songwriter, and I'm playing Jackie. Island in the Stars is pretty much Pirates of the Caribbean meets Star Wars. I mean, it's going to be amazing.
It's the kind of movie that 14-year-old Tom would have been like, I want to see this. I have to see this movie. Because I think you should be making films. You should be making art that you yourself want to see.
So when we started putting this together, I just started going through my Rolodex of 40 years odd of people, not just people in front of the camera, but people behind the camera, people that I know, calling in favors and talking to people, because I think that this film deserves to have the best.
Obviously, working with Dream Screens Australia is huge. They're an amazing, talented group of people, and the technology they're bringing into film is just fantastic.
It's going to be wonderful, and seriously, I'll be ringing a lot of you up to see this and pestering the heck out of you to get this film made, because I think it's wonderful.
Island in the Stars is truly an epic science fiction adventure film. Island in the Stars allows for all of these elements to come together in this confluence of a movie that I want to see, that is a action adventure fantasy science fiction movie.
It will be fun, you will love it, and we will do everything we can to make it the best that there is. So please. This film will remind you of what you've missed out on and show you that it's still there, and you'll be able to talk to your kids and say, that's what it used to be like. Island in the Stars. I can't wait for you to see it.
Well, that is now let me just, for disclaimer's sake, this is concept art. Do you want to talk up to that? Do you want to speak to that, Tom?
Yeah,
Tom
they're all
Lucinda?
concept designs that actually I came up with, drawing on a ton of influences from Chris Voss, a lot of fantasy artists, even Frazetta. All of these were in service of how do I articulate both the feel and the look of the technology, and how will the film feel? Because so many people have that question. Really, it makes it more concrete. The music is very representative. I actually know this composer, but very representative of the kind of robust soundtrack that we're going to have. And that look, both starship designs, the clothing, the costuming, everything is in service of what will the movie feel like, and what are the very distinctive, what's the point of demarcation between the pirate, which is our hero, versus the world they're in. So all of these references are kind of poured into it. One of the next steps, as we outlined in the crowdfunding, is we want to reach out to a pool of incredible concept artists to go ahead and make these more concrete and create actual storyboards in this style for the film.
I have to just say that our friend Tyrone is an authentic Australian, so he's offering services.
I can tell because he knows what Farmers Union iced coffee is. That's great. And a meat pie.
He sounds like he might be into it. Yeah.
We'll have to create a nude scene just for him by the sounds of it.
Yeah. But both really, the poster you're looking at is actually a painting with augmented stuff on it. But we had an artist named Christopher Shy paint a lot of the artwork you're seeing there on your screen. And I took art lessons since I was 10 years old, so I know a deep pool of references that I can pull from, and using AI technology, which is not going to be used in the film, but rather just me, Tom, sitting here trying to articulate it, pouring those influences and concept work into it, and scanning in reference things as well. That's how we're able to get the art to be exactly what we're looking for to articulate this, and right down to sort of the John Berkey inspired starships.
No nudity. Just for Tyron. That's it.
I'll be nude under my clothes.
Yeah.
I see you backstage, Maria. So just let me know when you're ready in the private chat. I don't know how long. I don't want to. I value your time, guys. I would like to ask you a couple of things
Sure.
before you go. I don't know how long we have you for, but speaking to everybody in here is a hardcore science fiction fan, right? And everybody here, for example, is definitely an Orville fan, and probably lots more.
Yeah.
Imagine that everybody in here someday is an Island in the Stars fan. Is there a message you want your future fans to know?
First off, we're grateful that they took the time and attention to check out Island in the Stars. I feel like we are both the audience and the creators of this particular project, and so we take that kind of role very seriously. But we want to definitely make this sort of our love letter to the best of our ability to create a film that honors all of the sci-fi influences and all of the excitement that got us to pulp fiction in the first place. So I think it would be first gratitude, and then just we hope that you gain something from this, that it, as Lucinda said, it makes you, I'm in a movie and you can forget about the world.
Now, let me just say this as well. You guys are looking for, there are different ways to collaborate with Island in the Stars from a production point of view, if I'm not mistaken. For the, I'm not talking about the big money, but for the small to medium sized entrepreneur person who's looking for a producer credit or for et cetera, something like that. What does that look like for somebody, in case somebody out there is listening who's interested?
I mean, we sort of with investors directly who want to put straight in, because obviously with the crowdfunding, that you sort of can't do both technically. So You know, I think it'd be great for people to buy perks and such, but for direct investors, we'd basically have a chat with them and talk them through the process and what the realistic outcomes would look like, and just make sure that they're clear. It's you've got to be very clear. Like, you can't ever guarantee anything with film, which is part of the problem. It's very hard to sort of convince people sometimes to support movies financially, but they do have, you know, I mean, if they're done right and you do things properly, then, you know, there's a good chance that you're going to sort of hopefully make that money back, but you can never guarantee it. So it's just a matter of like having a chat with them and explaining to them how the process works and what we'd be doing. And, you know, because every investor is different in what they're looking for and why they're doing it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, our responsibility is to people that are investing with an eye to getting a return on it, and those people that are going through the crowdfunding, that they get an experience of getting the perk and being enrolled in the film and feeling like they're valued and part of making the film. You know, Lucinda is very good at articulating to an investor or somebody that's interested in helping us on the big picture side of financing it. This is the money path, as we say. You know, this is the money path. This is what your return is going to be. It is a risk, of course, but we've tried to minimize those risks. Mm-hmm. She articulates that to people all of the time. For the boots on the ground person that really, like, hey, I want to throw some money into this, and I would love to say that I helped produce it. That's where the crowdfunding from the Leviathan perk. We met an amazing person through the Leviathan perk who wanted to produce a movie and get involved in it, and has been invaluable in doing it. So more of those people, if we could clone more of those people, we wouldn't be beholden to corporations or the way you get something that ends up being kind of crappy is 1,000 little cuts. It's all the concessions that you make to, if she and I were trying to get this through the Disney factory, or we're trying to get through that, there would be people that we had overseeing us. There would be concessions to try and please everybody. And say, well, what about people that like the color red? You have a lot of blue, and those are real conversations. And as I always say, a camel is a horse by committee. You end up with something that, if you get it through and it's even close to what you meant to make, it's a victory. And so what we're trying to do is at least make it more possible that the vision on this will emerge, right or wrong, will emerge very close to what we intended, and won't be something that neither we nor the audience like.
This question from Bill, is this a definitive title?
I think so.
Me too.
All the time. Mike and I spitballed a bunch of ideas. It is a title that's intrinsic to the overall theme of the movie, and I kind of like the elegance of it because it evokes the island and feeling that, but being in space. I started saying it was like, I feel like certain planets could be little islands in the stars, and so it goes with the spirit of the adventure they're going on.
Do you think you could get John Jarratt to part in your movie? Loved him in Wolf Creek. I mean, John Jarratt is amazing. He's a very talented actor. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
It's. I have met him. He's a very lovely man. So you never know.
I want to make sure I get a few questions in before you guys need to go. We're talking here about the film, but this, I bring this up a lot when we talk about the Orville, and we even before we got season 3, I get people rolling their eyes with this question. But listen, this is a very legitimate question. Is it, when, not if, but when this happens, right? What does it mean to have an Island in the Stars universe created? Is there more? Is there more than just a movie?
Truthfully, yes. I'm very hesitant, as is Lucinda, to be arrogant enough to say, this is part of a larger franchise or part of more films. I would never say that. If this turns out, and it is a self-contained adventure into itself, it allows for possibilities that we have already created 2 other films that complete the character arcs and the things that these characters can go on. It really would resolve quite nicely in a sort of longer format. And also in this world, because it has internal logic and you can poke around, there are ways that you could tell other stories from other points of view and other conflicts that could arise. I mean, think about it. How many different sea story adventures we had from the 1800s, you know, from Moby Dick to Treasure Island. They're all, you know, commonality is it's a boat in the ocean. So the answer is definitely yes. And without jinxing it, we will make sure this first one is as airtight and fulfilling as possible, with an eye to, you know, she and I both feel very strongly that there is a legitimate need to tell a little bit more of the story after this.
And yes, I love the idea of a video game.
Yeah, very much so.
Let me just say, and this is just an impression I have from speaking in private to both of you, that you guys have a lot of open possibilities for different expressions of this, right? Video games being one, and perhaps others as well.
Yeah, novels, possible comic books. I mean, they're all tied into that fan, like what even ourselves as fans of shows and films love about those shows and films is that there's other parts to it and other sort of formats to it that you can explore and delve deeper into the worlds of. So, you know, through those formats. So, yeah, I think it's exciting. Obviously, we don't want to get our hopes up just yet.
Not to say we haven't planned. We haven't had some really cool conversations about things that would enhance the experience of doing it. Which, at the end of the day, I think we all, when we have that rush of watching something, you're like, you know what, I love to watch, a movie and then find the novelization. I was always read the novelization of the film to find out deeper what were the characters thinking that we couldn't show on screen, and I would listen to the soundtrack and relive it in my head. So that immersion happened very early for me, and now there's never been a better chance to immerse people in a film.
Who is the woman in the bottom center?
That's
Emily Coop.
She is
Emily
the
Coop.
lead. She is signed on board. She's an actress, singer-songwriter, Emily Coop, and I encourage you to look her up. She is fantastic, and yes, she's part of the film.
Awesome.
And that pirate on the right, by the way, he's kind of like a Mel Gibson kind of space pirate guy. He would kind of look like that if he was.
Listen, I tell this to my students a lot when I'm I give class when we talk about leadership and personal growth. Sometimes reality is stranger than fiction, and anything is possible, right? And we could be. My impression with a project like this is that it will supersede our expectations in many different ways. I really value your positivity, guys. Do we have you for 10 more minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do 10 more. Yeah.
Let me bring in, because we have a couple of our ambassador level panelists here, and I want to bring a few of them in. First of all, we have somebody who's a dear friend in the sci-fi community. She is starting her own channel now, and she's doing fantastic. So I want to welcome Sci-Fi Mambi. Welcome, Sci-Fi Mambi.
Hello. How are you guys?
Hello. Good to see
Hello.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Great to meet you too.
PJ.
Hey, good to see you. It's great to have you on with us. Fantastic. And I see this comment here would be great for fit for this movie.
Yeah, she would be, wouldn't she?
Should we tell them?
Oh, we're hearing it first right here.
Should be careful. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. Let's.
What Tom just said is enough to start a rumor. So
that's fine. Rumors are fine.
And let me bring in one more person, my co-host, from our community, from Orville Nation team, and apparently, oh no, it's not Maria. It's her alternate ego, Lady Vampira. So welcome, Lady Vampira. Good to see you.
Hi.
Wow.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Very
Good
nice.
to see you all. Yes, Lady Vampira. So, yes, finally, first time live.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Sweet.
And it's been a while since we've seen Lady Vampira, so we're glad that
Yes.
Halloween has brought you out of the closet.
Yes, I know. Yeah, you know, Maria is a little boring sometimes, I hear. No, just kidding. So, no, it's good to play. I love playing her, and so I was excited to play her. But I was enjoying the preview to the movie and everything. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Very exciting project, and excited to bring it out. We'll do everything we can to make sure everybody stays tuned and excited for it as well. Sci-Fi Mommy, good to have you. Our first time together, so
Yeah, it's good to see you.
thank you.
So we have our guests Lucinda and Tom for a few more minutes. I want to ask everybody in the chat if there's any further questions you guys might have, because we are talking to the lead direction here for Island in the Stars, and I do want to ask one more question. Will we have, following the release of Island in the Stars, will we have toys at the holidays?
I mean, we hope so. We would love that. I think, again, it'll just come back to the popularity of it and whether or not the capability is there and the demand is there.
I guess the real question is, you guys haven't signed any rights away to anybody, right?
No.
Okay,
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We did do some interesting 3D modeling on some of the ship designs. I had come up with a ship design, which Lucinda actually ended up liking so much we put it in the video. And then Mike and I went ahead and scanned it in and created a 3D model of it, which could be printed. And I was thinking, God, that'd be a lot of fun to do ships of the line in this naval fleet. And then, I mean, let's face it, you can have secret swords and you can have all kinds of fun things that we have in this. I think it would be a lot of fun if someone wanted to do a toy line or something. This is exactly what I would have wanted to play with when I was a kid. I'd be like, give me more. I would love to have fun designing. Yeah.
I wasn't a Barbie kid. I was a give me spaceships kid.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to do. You're right. We'd be fools not to look at it.
Yeah.
Now, is this just to get a little orientation, and maybe I don't know if this is too much information, but is this a galaxy far away type of thing, or is this a future humanity type thing? What is it? Is it relevant to who we are on Earth today, or is it fiction?
You sound like you've been listening to Lucinda and I in late night conversations.
I ask questions like this all the time.
She puts my feet
because I am a very much like, and so is Tom. But this is why we work so well together. It's that world building element. Like we're still, doing some bits and pieces of that and working through that. So I ask questions all the time, like, well, how does what's the technology? What's the why does this work in this world? What's the logic? And we've had those discussions over the last couple of years quite a lot. It's been fun.
My feeling is that it's probably alt future versus alt history fiction. Things would have had to have happened that allowed a culture that was centered around Australian culture. As we say in Australia, everyone made it into space. Everyone from all the walks of life in Australia, it became a kind of benevolent force going out into the stars. And so it is an alt future look at, well, wouldn't it be fun? Let's imagine that, maybe they kept the Victorian aesthetic. Maybe they kept this certain naval aesthetic to their fleet, but they're going out and colonizing and moving into these places. And it's not really an aliens kind of like meeting and fighting, but much more, how do we go out into a vast unknown area and keep our humanity, but also have these adventures where it's like, we're still human. We're still going to have people that are bad people trying to raid things and take what's not theirs and all of that. So I really feel like it's enough removed from Earth now that you can't go, well, this wouldn't be like this in 200 years. I don't want to pin it down like that because so many films have been wrong. Look at Blade Runner. It's like, I love Blade Runner, but when that title comes up, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the history now.
I actually think the alternate history is a very safe way to go to be able to connect us and at the same time preserve
I agree.
logic, right?
I would
Yeah.
agree. I believe the original series of Star Trek is now alt history, alt future, and that events that they talk about, like their World War III in the 1990s, all of that is canon in that universe. I'm okay with it. I don't need it explained away or revised later. We're like, well, that didn't happen, so let's change everything in Star Trek. It's like, no, in their world, that's what happened. That's when it happened. I'm cool with it. I think we're condescending to sci-fi fans when we need to retroactively fix everything. Because a novel, if I read the Foundation trilogy now, I'm like, oh, well, when did he write this? We need to change everything. It doesn't need to be changed. We're smarter than they think, and so I think you're right. Alt future or at least alt historical future leading into that. People love it. I mean, let's say, what if the Library of Alexandria never burned? Where would we be? We'd gone to the moon in the 1400s. Cool to think about.
Yeah. We want to field some questions before you guys go. Is there a possibility for a TV or streaming show, a continuity from this universe?
In continuity, yes, it would have to center on who survives. But yeah, I think a serialized.
Wait. He just said who survives.
Survives. Yeah, I think a serialized format could work really well. You could have like self-contained episodes, but also a long arc. Because the cool thing about sci-fi television is you can tell really big, sprawling stories. Yeah.
How many times have I heard that saying now? Oh my god. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah. Well, sci-fi works best when you have humor and you're human, You can always tell a movie's going to be good when it isn't just pictures of ships and buildings and explosions. People care about faces, and it needs to be about something. The best science fiction at the end of the day is about human experience.
Tom, tell us you wrote this line into the movie.
That's not, no, that's only when I had a disagreement about the script.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not the knife.
Listen, guys, I want to ask Sci-Fi Mom Meeting and Lady Vampira before we let Tom and Lucinda go. Any questions from our ambassador level panelists? Any questions that you guys might want to ask? And that if you don't have any, that's okay.
I only want fingers. No question. Please give me.
No, I haven't been able to. Well, I was going to ask if we've put up all the information on the media contacts, so people can follow up and whatnot, so that and also in our community, I'm sure there'll be others that might be interested in having you join. Are you open to speak with some of them and
absolutely
about this?
Yeah, love to.
So probably
we love talking about our film.
Goes on. Yeah, because we were successful. Yeah, exactly. Because it was successful on Indiegogo, they automatically leave it up. So if it's something you look at it and you go, "Hey, we'd like to invest," you can. The rainbow.
Now, also because of the roadmap is maybe not 100% clear, will you guys give us updates on your progress?
Yes, yeah. We'll be doing that through the Indiegogo campaign as regularly as possible, and through doing shows like this. We're happy to talk to whoever wants to listen to us go on about our film.
Yeah, and there is a Facebook too that you can join.
Yeah.
Stars, which we'll try and be really diligent about posting some updates. Because we want
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah. So it's all about being part of it and connecting with the fans. So we're trying to do a good job of communicate what we're up to. I think it's a lot more fun than it just being up on high. It's like we want to include people.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. I have a really good feeling about this project. Let me just say, so I want to thank both of you, Lucinda and Tom, for taking some time on your Sunday to be with us and to connect with everybody. And you've been fielding questions from everybody, and everybody's been sharing comments with you guys. So I want to thank you both for your time, and on behalf of everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching on the replay and all those friends who are lurking. thank you both, and I give you guys the last word before you guys depart.
Well, I saw a question in there from I can't see it anymore, but asking about alien drop bears. Drop bears
might be another film.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they're not alien. Maybe they exist in this timeline. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. But thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate being able to come on and talk about the show and talk about what we're doing, and we love it. You know, and coming from a fan base myself and growing up with, you know, being a nerd and loving sort of fan stuff before it was cool to be a nerd and loving fan stuff. You know, it's really great to kind of find communities that really just support it and love it and are proud about it. And yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah. And sort of my last word on it is just, you know, I think I directed my first TV pilot in 1992, and I just fell in love with telling stories and the rush of enjoying it through other people's eyes. Once it's done, you kind of like get to, you want to watch this? You know, I'm terrible about that. I'm like, come in here, watch this edit. You know, so for me, this is just the next logical step of decades of doing this and doing it for other people mostly. You know, as a writer, or an actor, or director, I've helped other people see their dream through. And now we have the skill set, we have the right time and the right people. We just need to put resources together to make this film, and we can do it. We just need to now get it to the next level. So thank you.
Well, thank you both. And by the way, is there anything else you guys are working on that you want to plug?
You can tell yours first, though, if you want.
No, you go. I mean, I can't really talk about a lot of the ones that I'm doing, unfortunately.
Well, I can mention for Halloween, I have a thing that I started during the pandemic. I loved radio when I was a kid, and I loved listening to audio fiction and to books on tape and everything. So I started a thing called the Mindstream Players. And it started on Zoom, where I would rehearse everybody like a live theater show, and we would execute it with live music and live sound effects and people. And it kind of took off, and then I got a little more ambitious, and I started doing it in the studio and adding more effects, more music. So for Halloween, I have two things out. One is a new adaptation of Dracula, which is a really kind of ambitious audio version of Dracula. It's called A Symphony of Blood. And another is called Sorry, Wrong Number, with an actress that I've been working with for like 27 years. And both of those are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you look for Mindstream Players, you can see that. And check those out for Halloween, because they are kind of the audio version of cinema.
Nice.
Awesome. I want to thank the Wrenches for putting stuff in, and now Lucinda's got us all.
I will say I've got about 8 projects that I've got that are pretty much ready to move forward, that are finance dependent, and obviously this is one of the ones that I'm sort of really hoping goes, which I think it will now. I really do believe that. And then a couple of others, like I've got a horror and I've got a live action blended animation feature, which is basically a like horror Disney but seen through the eyes of horror, which is kind of cool.
Does it feel you're juggling when you have that many things up in the air?
For me, it's a necessity as a producer to have like different projects and several different things going on, because they're all at different I have 30 projects on my slate that I'm doing at the moment, and they're all at different stages of development. So it you know, like one could be being written while I'm working on something else, and then I get that draft back, and then I've got to read it, give my notes, send it back, and they'll go off and do their thing, and I'll go off and do my thing. I think if I had one project at a time, I would go batty. I need sort of several things going on at once to kind of maintain focus, and you know, and they're all important as each other. I don't have favorites, but but some
of those are not with me. I understand. Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, they're not. I work with lots of different people. I just love making film, So, I try to help the community as well, because it's very hard being a filmmaker, especially at the moment with the strikes going on. And, producing is not an easy gig. But, none of the, it's just, I love making movies. That's all I ever want to do with my life. So I'm happy.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you both again. And maybe, let me just say really quick that maybe one day we'll have Tom come and talk to us about Scooby-Doo.
I would love to. I loved writing the seasons of that, and people are still discovering it. So I'd love to chat about it.
Oh my gosh. Scoobs.
That would be
well.
I love the Scooby.
I want to thank you both for coming. Again, the main theme of Orville Nation is obviously around the Orville and around new sci-fi, because Seth was inspired to do new sci-fi, and the subtopic for Orville Nation, of course, is We Grow Together. And these are two wonderfully talented people who are putting together an amazing team, and I urge everybody to give them support in any way you can by sharing their stuff, talking about their stuff, telling your friends about it, contributing, telling people who might be interested in contributing, to be like part of the project. So share it, guys. Sharing is the biggest thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. It was a pleasure. Let's do it again soon.
I can't wait till we have Island in the Stars conventions. I'm so gonna love that.
Oh wow, that'd be amazing. And I'm putting this link up that you just.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, those are the audio things. If anyone wants to check them out.
Awesome. Well, thank you both, and we're going to continue with our celebration. But thank you both for being part of it. And you guys are welcome back anytime to talk about this or anything that you guys are doing. You guys are always welcome to come and share.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having us, and hello to the panel, and hello to the chat.
Good night.
Have
Thank
fun.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Lucinda.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Take care. And this is the link that Tom just shared with us, and that is for the audios that he was just talking about. So Ty, yes, an Australian feature film. Isn't that exciting for a friend from Down Under? And all our lurking friends from Down Under. Isn't that exciting? So listen, this is an honor to have, of course, Sci-Fi Mambi on for the very first time. It's a pleasure to have you on. Tell us about your channel, young lady.
Thank you. Oh, young lady, thank you for calling me young. Thank you for having me on. I started out with my sister. I don't know if you've all seen our first podcast, but she kind of had to step back, and I was kind of going, well, I want to keep going. So I took my love of sci-fi and our original stage name, and I just combined them. So I'm Sci-Fi Mambi. And
I like that name.
I honestly started out as it fun, and then my daughter got into the media program at our high school, and I was trying to think of ways to keep my kids, have something for them to do for fun and put on their resumes, and we've just it's almost a year, and we're having our big celebration on the 23rd, and we've just kind of grown into finally getting to stream. Thank you both so much for helping us with that. We actually did our first stream the other night on Friday the 13th, and we're just having a good time.
Now, so you're celebrating a year of your channel this October 23rd.
Yes.
Oh wow! All right. Do you want to put in your channel in the chat, Sci-Fi Mambi?
I will.
And let me also welcome again somebody who we've been waiting months and months to talk to. Welcome back, Lady Vampira. Usually your twin sister Maria is here, but she's very boring.
Yes, she's boring. She's a snoozer. Yeah, and good to see you. And congratulations. Well, one to Sci-Fi Mambi for all the things coming up in your live streams and whatnot. Congratulations. It is tough, and you will change quite a bit during the process. Trust me, I know. But go with it. It's a fun ride, and you've got a lot of support here. And then to PJ, the boss man. Oh my gosh, 4 years for you. That is awesome, and I'm so glad to be here, helping you chime that in because it is quite an accomplishment.
Well, thank you, young lady. It was our growth has been less than I anticipated, but we've had a lot of bumps in the road. It's kind of funny because I think actually we might start to grow quicker now. Things are coming. Things are on the way to grow quickly, guys. That is Sci-Fi Mombi's channel. Make sure you are subbed to Sci-Fi Mombi. She's got a great new channel going, and I'd like to say that I think you have a natural personality for this, Sci-Fi Mombi.
Thank you. I just kind of built on what we had and just moved forward. So I'm kind of circling back to my first career. I used to work for the CBS Fox affiliate here in Springfield.
Oh, wow.
And I have a degree in film and media. So I'm kind of just drawing from it. Kind of came out of my shell finally. My kids are old enough, so I have more time. But,
oh, wow, that's great. So you can tell us what we're doing wrong all the time.
Well, I'm not an expert.
But actually that is very interesting because Maria and I talk about this a lot, and it's interesting when we see people coming from television and broadcasting into this medium, and between you, me, and the entire chat, of course, a lot of the people, not all always, but sometimes people who are coming in from a traditional broadcasting background are missing the connection to the individual person in the chat. They're doing things in a way that's not translating into communicate, because this medium is for being able to connect with people in your chat, right? And having Kronos here, saying, don't forget the chat, and letting Kronos express himself, right? To some degree, right? And so do you want to speak to that, to this medium at all, and coming from a traditional broadcasting point of view?
I actually like this better than the traditional broadcasting. Now I lost how it used to be, because if you're not connecting with your audience and your fans, how are you ever going to grow? And I used to work in the sales department at those two stations, and I always felt like, I'm building the presentations, but I'm trying to reach our advertisers. And that's how I feel we've kind of transitioned over to YouTube and Rumble, and we can talk to everybody. And that's the cool part, because we've all kind of been locked up, and now we're getting back out from COVID. And this is a good way for us to connect with each other, even though we can't see each other, all the time face to face.
Yeah. I think this is a great way for just the fact that just highlighting people's comments in the chat is making them part of the conversation. I actually enjoy this medium a lot. I know Maria does too. Do you have any comment to what do you want to add anything to what Sci-Fi Mombi said?
No, it's very true. I mean, that's one of the things that we've always told other channels when they're saying, like, what's, why isn't it working? What are we doing wrong? And it's not that you're doing, like, one is doing something wrong. It's just that there is, if you don't have that connection the people that are watching you are the ones that are making you, and I could never leave them out. And so I think there have been a few channels who started to incorporate that and realize that it is actually important and it is actually fun, because you kind of get their feedback live, and you just learn to improve that way, and it kind of gets rid of a little bit of stage fright. So for those who do it because they're afraid of it, they should just do it, because I was certainly afraid. I was telling PJ, I still remember the first time I got on, I looked like a scared rabbit. If you go back to that first one, you'd laugh, because you'd be like, what is Maria doing? I was just like sitting there paranoid. but you learn to just love it and enjoy it. I couldn't be without it. So no.
And I think it's important that we know that Kronos needs more booze. I think that's important.
He also said multitasking is annoying. So
He also said multitasking. Yeah, where's that comment? Where was I? I saw that one. Multitasking is really annoying. I could hear Kronos saying this. Yeah, so it's important to have the peanut gallery chime in. I think it really is. And what is your how do you feel about the new channel? What would have been your challenges, and what have been your are you what is it feeling like to you? Are you happy with how it's going?
I am happy that it's starting to grow and branch out. I think the thing that I told my kids from the beginning is that we're not just going to stick to one thing. So they pushed me into the horror movie series. And we don't just talk Star Trek. We don't just talk Star Wars. We don't just talk the Orville, even though I love the Orville. I don't know how y'all don't know that, anyways. But we talk everything. Like a friend of mine, Ranger, she comes on every once in a while. She got me hooked on Babylon 5. I had never seen it before. And I make the joke, where the heck was I when these shows were on? Like Firefly and Babylon 5 and Battlestar Galactica. I'm watching Stargate Atlantis right now because I went through SG-1.
Are you liking it?
I'm loving it. Yeah.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. And I have joined the campaign to try to get Stargate back because there's so many stories you can tell. And so much good writing and,
Yeah, Stargate is amazing. It's got, some people don't realize it has 17 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, next to Star Wars and Star Trek, it's like, it is a huge brand. And hopefully we'll see, hopefully things are going to get back on track in a positive way. And guys, don't forget Sci-Fi Mambi's channel, of course, is right here in the chat. Make sure. And I just want to say how wonderful it is to have Tink from Orville 24/7 and Yesin again from Orville 24/7 in the chat. The Orville family is all here. So thank you guys for joining us. Hard to believe Sci-Fi Mambi is a novice, says Mr. Liddell. Yeah, she's a natural.
Well, that's what, like Seth says, that's what happens when you're thrown in front of your church family for years. You kind of just build up that public. And I also play the violin, so I've kind of had to be out there. And I'm just like, I'm just comfortable with it. So.
There's Yesin again. And hello, lovely Sherry. So thank you, Yesin again, and Tink for being here. That's very special. And we're going to get both of you guys, we're going to get both you ladies on together. It's only all right. I'm going to put you on the spot for a reason. Yesin again, and Tink. It's been 4 years, so we got to get you both. We got to get you both on at some point. It's been 4 years, Tink. Yesin again. So we'll have to get you on. One snort from Maria, or she been cured.
I hit the mute button a lot.
So Vampira, tell us about Maria, Lady Vampira. Tell us about need to go do mom things. Okay, Tink, thank you for joining us. Tell us about your channel and tell us about where is Vampira and Tiantelli going in the near future.
Well, Lady Vampira shares a channel with that boring Maria chick.
Yes.
I'm trying to squeeze my way in there and get my own spot and take the spotlight. So right now, I am going to be a radio host. And I don't know if everybody has seen the or heard the intro for it, but I think it's kind of cool. I've got a couple of intros for it. I don't know if you want to play them, PJ. But
please go ahead. Please.
You want me to do it? I think you should do it for me while I talk.
Well, where? Oh,
on my channel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was in Forgive me.
I'm like, how that's first. Okay,
I
no,
thought
no,
it was a
no,
new
no,
one.
no.
I gotcha. I
My
looked
my
up.
minion is trying to play with something that he doesn't need to play with. So it's okay. No, that's a no. So all night long, I'm going to be doing Sorcerer's Things, and I'm going to be taking calls from some very interesting people.
From the monster community, right?
From the monster community. So you'll get to hear like some of the problems that, maybe Frankenstein may be coming across. I'm not there to like solve their problems, but I think it'd be nice to listen to them. I even have a an owner and editor of a monster magazine who's going to appear and give us the latest juicy news on some of the monsters. Oh my gosh, my little minion is being a little minion here. Sorry, he's really trying to. So, okay, and I'll shut up for a second while you do that there, PJ.
All right, so we're going to show this, well. So when the Orville gets renewed, okay, well that's a definite then when the Orville gets renewed, isn't it, Tink? Because it's coming, it's coming. All right, well we'll see. Let me just mute you both for 1 second. I'm going to play this trailer from Maria's channel.
You're listening to KHWL FM 103.1, where giving into your inner beast is not only welcome, but encouraged. Ow! Ow, ow, ow! All right, my howlers, it's time to spill your guts all night long. She'll be taking your calls. And now, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, get your pitchforks, crosses, and garlic ready. That spectacular spellcaster with all the right answers, Lady Vampira.
Well, that was very cool. That was
Yes.
What is that voice is very familiar.
I know. And you should all probably recognize it. I didn't actually have to change it much except for one little tiny notch, only for a little bit more bass sound. But yes, you recognize that voice. Raise your hand if you know who it is.
Raise your hand in the chat if you know who it is.
Yeah. And oddly enough, there are some who asked me about the other voice that was on there as well, that I have for an introduction to the radio station KHOW 103.1 FM.
Excuse me for 1 second, ladies. Can you forgive me for 1 second? Maria, take over for 1 second if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, let's see where we're at right now. Okay, I can't do much with that, him sharing the screen. So yeah, I'm excited. And if and a lot of people were asking when I was doing this, they were like, is this a real radio station? Like, where can I hear it? I'm like, it's fictitious. You got that right, Sci-Fi Mommy?
No, I'm bad. I thought it was a real radio station.
Did you?
I was like, I like the old Star Wars radio programs. Have you heard those?
No, it's been a while.
You've got to find those. I used to work when I was in high school. I used to work at public library, and we had them on tape where I worked, and so I was always taking them home and listening, and I dubbed them off. And those old radio programs are so awesome. So I was like, man, I hope this is real. I know it's probably coming. It's real.
I have to say that it was kind of exciting coming up with the call letters, and there is a little hint of something in those call letters, and in KHWL 1030 31. 103.1. 103.1,
Now
1031.
oh my goodness.
Halloween.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Anyway, so I feel like such a kid when this time comes around, but I'm excited about this, and I wanted to bring Lady Vampira out because as we speak, the artist is now creating the actual character for the comic book. So you're probably seeing Lady Vampira a lot. But let me see what's going on in the chat because I don't have a handle on it until PG goes.
I am sorry. I had a little issue.
Thing.
Yes, a thing.
That's all right. PJ doesn't pay Marie enough. Whatever. Let's see. No, it's not. It's the other way around. No.
So we thought it was a real radio station. Well, will they be able?
Yes. I don't feel alone now.
No. No.
Will they be? Will Mr. Lindell be able to call in?
You know, I was wondering if there was a way that we could do like where people could call in. I think a former Down Under person who would give me tips and clues gave me a way on how to make that happen, but I forgot. And but anyway, I don't know if you remember, PJ, but I don't remember how to do that. So maybe we could. Maybe I think that would be fun. But for right now, I think I'm gathering all the. They're not going to be live though. They're going to be. I'm just going to put them on my channel. So I'm hoping you guys go to them because they're going to be kind of fun and it's almost like a to be continued thing. So when I put one video out and take a phone call from one, I'll have another one coming up later. So it'll be fun.
Now, Sci-Fi Mommy, do you want to tell us what? By the way, do they know you as anything else, or just Sci-Fi Mommy in public?
I'm April. You can call me April. Sci-Fi Mommy.
Okay, we can't call you.
You know, go by my first name. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What do you have coming up next on Sci-Fi Mommy channel?
We're looking at doing another live stream with the Addams Family double features from the 90s. And then our 1 year celebration live stream is the 23rd at 7 p.m. Central. And then season 2 jumps off from there.
Awesome. Now, we have, of course, we pinned this at the top that anybody who wants to call in at the top of this from the Orville Caster crew is welcome to pop in. And I'm going to do is for the remainder of the show, we are going to go full. We are going to go full. We grow together, and for the remaining half hour, if anybody wants to use the link at the top and come in and give us an update about anything you're doing on your channel, you are welcome to. And Maria, by the way, I love the art on this. Who did the art on this?
That would be, of course, Dr. O. He is
so talented.
He is. Since he's director of marketing, he does all my artwork.
Yeah.
With the exception of the original artists for some of the art. The actual Maria from TNT and Lady Vampira is done by Anna. Of course, I can never say her last name.
Well, it's actually not her last name. It's Folkenstall.
Folkenstall.
That's her. Yeah, it's not really her last name, but it's her channel name, Folkenstall.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yep.
The second part of it. Sorry, Anna Folkenstall. And so she is the original artist, and also has a hand in working with the Lady Vampira comic book. And so, but yeah, Dr. O does all my original artwork.
Yeah. Well, this trailer was great. And I'm going to, if with your permission, I am going to play the other trailer.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I did the videos and the music and everything, so I got proud of that.
Let's see. The other trailer was this one, right? Oh no, this one.
Yeah, I think so. No, I think that's the one you just played.
No,
It's the one
no.
previous.
Okay.
The one in
Nuevo Milka. Ahora con más cacao.
Oh, nice. Oh, chocolate.
European chocolate commercials.
Oh, I want to. Oh, sorry.
Okay, let's play this. I'm going to mute you ladies 1 sec. And I see you backstage, guys. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, give me 1 sec, KDTV. And let's just play Maria's thing first real quick. And...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an October feast for your ears. Halloween approaches, where wild ghosts escape from dreams, where monsters come true and dance into the night. They have something to say, here to hear them spill their guts and give them a voice in your sorceries. Lady Vampira. Join her and her enchanted evenings here on KHW 1031 FM 103.1.
All right.
I love it.
Love it. Love it.
Okay. That was that one. Who is that, Maria?
Did you want me to say? Oh gosh, you could tell who it was because he was covering his face through the whole thing.
Yeah. It was me. It was Russian. What do you mean Russian?
I know. God.
I got the. We'll see.
Was it Russian?
All right, guys.
Thank
we want
you.
to just yeah, that was great, and I'm really looking forward to all this. I never drink winos. Hey, Andy. Good to see you, Andy Masterson. Good to see you, Lady Mist. Good to see Connie. Good to see everybody in here, guys. So many people popping in and out. Thank you guys for supporting our celebration today. And these are great, says yes and again.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Thank you. They're fun.
And we will drag you guys on here someday, Lydia and Tink. The voice is probably Doomcock. He does many. No, it wasn't Doomcock.
It wasn't.
He does do a
Doomcock.
lot of good voice.
Yeah, he does.
All right, we should bring in our people we have in the back. And
Actually, PJ, before you do that, real quick, I have a Lady Vampira call coming up here in a few. I scheduled somebody, so I'm going to let them.
You teaching superhero magic to your mentee?
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to because they just told me they're coming here.
Okay, well, let these gentlemen say goodbye to you, and you can.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know they're big fans of Vampira. First of all, I want to introduce King Dolphin and Mr. Lundell. Good to see you both.
Hey.
Good evening. And
good evening.
Congratulations to you, PJ, on 4 years.
Thank you,
as always, it's lovely to see Lady Vampira, aka Maria T.S. It's always a pleasure to see you. And pleasure meeting you, Sci-Fi Mommy.
Hello, nice to meet you too. And PJ, I just realized I didn't congratulate you on 4 years. Man, jeez.
Oh, that's
congratulations.
Thank you.
She missed that in the flyer.
Thank you, Kelly King Dolphin. I appreciate that. And Mr. Lundell, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's fun. It's been 4 years, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I think I was there from the beginning.
You were there before me, weren't you?
Well, you were like in your basement doing this, I think, or something. You didn't have the spaceship yet.
Yeah, it was not on the spaceship. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Lundell.
Hello. How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty
good. Maria, if you have to go ahead.
Yeah. No. Thanks for letting me say hi. I didn't want to hog up the space. but I do want to get this thing done here. But yeah, good to see you guys. I hope to see you guys soon.
Oh well, I've got celebrations coming up. I'll tell PJ more about it later. But you are more than welcome.
Oh,
Always
absolutely.
a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Yes. Well, you take care. PJ, happy 4 years. And
Thank you. And
thanks
any
to all you guys
messages when your next stream is or your next thing is?
Well, I'm hoping to actually live stream a Vampira, hopefully next Friday or something. The next Friday coming up.
Gotcha.
But I will be getting out some of those radio show things. So
okay,
good to see
I like how the Vampira costume attire is progressing. Looking good.
Coming together.
Well, thank you, Maria.
Thank you. All right.
Bye, Maria.
Take care. All right, guys.
Bye, Maria.
Bye.
Yeah, she does the Buddhist bye-bye thing even in costume. If anybody, by the way, if you need to step out, Sci-Fi Mommy, just let me know.
Okay.
But I do want to ask our guests, starting with Raymond, what do you have coming up?
Oh God. It's one hashtag Podtober.
Give me 1 sec, Raymond. Thank you, Lydia. It's good to see you, yes, and again. And thank you, Connie, if anybody's stepping out. Thank you again, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry, Raymond, go ahead.
Okay, no problem. Like you, I started my stream 2 years ago, coming up in October.
Oh, wow.
So October, I used to call it Big Muff, but now it's just we decided on Podtober. It's where I will celebrate the pod and everything they've done for King Dolphin TV. It's going to be a blast.
That's great.
This Wednesday is going to be my 200th episode, and it's still in the works. I may do a review. I may debut our latest episode called The Podcast. Everything's all tied into pods and dolphins and stuff like that. And
for those who don't know, the pod is a school of dolphins, right?
Yep, exactly. Or in my case, a bunch of like-minded, great people who love chaos and interviews. So, so on the 18th, I'm going to have this 200th episode, and on the 22nd, every weekend we do. King Dolphin TV does two things. I interview creators or people doing interesting things. I've had pilots, mixed martial arts people, all sorts of people like that. And I've had PJ on, YouTube channel creators, great people on, and where I bring out everything that makes them them. And then I'm sure I'm a porpoise, but on the weekends it is a panel gathering called Just Cuz, where we just go crazy. It's chaos and chaos, fellowship, and maniac things all in one tidy little package. Just Cuz.
Great. Let me just say bye, Connie. Thank you so much, Connie. Thank you for dropping by. Raymond, before I forget, do you want to put in your link to your channel in the chat?
Sure, I can do that. On the, let's see, wait a minute, hold on a second here.
Is that true? Do you make Sandra bake in front of his audience?
Oh, yes. We have a segment called Cooking with Sandra.
That sounds like fun.
It is absolutely great. Her last cooking, man, we almost had a stampede coming over to the pod, the podcast of people as she was making potato candy, and it was that segment was awesome. And now that October is coming along and the start of her official baking season. We may see some more Cooking with Sandra's.
Okay.
So, but yes, I've got a great bunch of people who come in on Saturdays, and we just have a blast. So this coming Sunday, a week from tonight, because it's normally on Saturdays, but I'm on an away mission, combined conference book signing on Saturday. So
where is that going to be?
It's in Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So when I'm on an away mission on Sundays, I will usually let me start over. When I'm on an away mission on Saturdays, because Saturdays is our show, we'll do a Sunday episode of Just Cause. So that'll be this coming Sunday. And then because the 23rd is the actual kickoff date of King Dolphin TV, we're going to do a short celebration on Monday the 23rd.
Monday the 23rd. Okay.
Yes, so that's going to be that week is going to be what we call Big Week, when I'm just slamming episodes over and over the week. I call it Big Week. And then on the 28th is a certain Dolphin's birthday, and it just happens to coincide with a Just Cause. So we know what
Can you say whose birthday is it or not?
It'll be my birthday.
Oh, your birthday. Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was Sandra or, okay.
Nope, it's mine. So we'll be doing there will be definitely shenanigans on that one. So
that's great. Wow.
So Podtober is going like gangbusters, and it's looking like everybody's having a lot of fun. So please come on over, like, subscribe, and join in the mayhem.
I am liking the Podtober. I like it. It's a good name. And thank you, Lady Miss. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You're always so nice and sweet. Thank you, Lady Miss. And,
the kitty
FKHC.
Thank you. Yes, I do have a birthday. Yes. Just remember, everybody, the kitty table will be stocked up with good stuff. So bring your A games. So that's what's coming up in October.
Fabulous. Wow. There's lots of stuff on Podtober. Mr. Lundell, thank you, Raymond. And everybody loves Raymond, guys. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to say it.
I know, everybody does.
Mr. Lundell, how are you doing? And I love always Mr. Lundell has a great background, his office there.
One
how
thing
you doing?
though, King Dolphin, you need to you need to give us a heads up when you translate that message that says so long and thank for all the fish. Please give us a heads up on that.
Okay.
By now,
I don't.
What it means.
And a hello to our favorite Ghostbuster, Dave. Good to see you, Dave. Dave's Dimension. Go ahead, Mr. Lindell. How was the last Groovy movie, and what's coming up next?
I'll let Sci-Fi Mommy tell you that she was in for the experience, and that was a popular movie. Wait till I show a really bad one. Okay, it gets better then.
It was a fun time. Yeah. Everybody's opinions, and I haven't seen that one in a very long time. So it was kind of, a rehashing for me, and you guys have a really fun time watching those movies. So I'm going to stop by more often.
Oh, please do. That's every Saturday, 3:00 Central Time. We do a watch party.
What was it? What movie was it?
Yesterday's was
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I can't even remember. Okay.
Nice.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. This Saturday, I'm turning up the notch. So we got to do Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, good one.
The original. So don't bring your kids around. If if you're squeamish, don't. This movie, it has its moments. And the killer part to me is this put zombies on the map.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
last time I streamed it a couple of years ago, it started some controversy with one person. He'll be on the LDG, by the way. He'll probably be on the panel again, and when that particular scene happens, he'll probably bring it up again. So I need everybody to stay with me in the chat afterwards so we can convince him otherwise of his theory on how the movie ends.
Let me bring how the turnouts, by the way, since you started again, the turnouts are pretty good, right, Mr. Lundell?
They seem to be going pretty good. What I want to do eventually is more than one watch party per week, but one of my hosts is British, so and it's late at night, even though it's like 3:00 here. It's late at night for her. So I got to kind of build the base of people that will join me in the stream. Let's say on a Tuesday at 3:00, or maybe a little bit later. I'm still kind of feeling that out, but okay. I've got a couple of thousand movies. A lot of them are really bad B-grade horror movies that you only saw at night. If you were an insomniac like I was as a kid, and so we can have fun. You think Mystery Science Theater 3000 cracked these movies? Yeah, just wait.
We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes, but let me bring in our last guest. She is somebody, a strong member of the community and with a wonderful channel. Welcome to Anti-Derivative Jill. Welcome, Jill.
Hey. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Hey, hello.
Hi, Jill.
Good to see you, Jill.
Congratulations on your 4-year anniversary, PJ.
Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you so much. You've always been a great supporter. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, I love your channel. It's always so positive and fun to listen to. I apologize. My child is a little loud if you can hear her.
Oh, that's okay. We're family friendly.
Yeah, and those are screams of joy, so I don't think she's upset. If she were, I would have to step away.
Oh yeah. That reminds me of that. Do you guys remember a long time ago and the tennis player Andre Agassi? There's a screaming kid in the stands, and he said, "Stop hitting your kid."
I can relate, Joe. I just had the grandkids over tonight.
Oh, that's great. But that's really, I hear the cool thing about being a grandparent is you get to give them back. I'm just kidding. By the way. I love my children very much.
At least that's what my parents do.
That's true if you're an uncle as well. Trust me on that one.
So thanks for having me on, PJ.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I just want to be clear that my little almost sounded like a rant at the beginning is not against anybody in our community or anybody at all in general. It's just that I think that I really strongly feel that that unless we project positivity in our environment, I really think that the world needs even in our own circles that we need positivity, and that will reverberate in a positive way on a global level, I think.
Of course, I think I was
Absolutely.
responding to the idea of nitpicking, which is something I enjoy doing. It's a lot of fun.
We're all nitpickers. We can't, but yeah, we're all nitpickers.
That's true. That's true.
And thank you, Maria. Thank you so much and Lady Vampira coming on our show. What a privilege. Thank you. You don't have to do that. Thank you, Maria. And many more. Thank you. And many more to all of us, guys, because this is so I want to ask everybody. I know Sci-Fi Mombi is going to hit her 1-year anniversary. And King Dolphin is your 2-year anniversary, right?
Yep.
And Mr. Lundell, since you started, this is what, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5.5, 5 years. Stuff like this, I don't measure the time. I just do it because I'm having fun. And so, why start with the clock if you're having fun? Just
but
back
it's
and
true.
have
Mr.
fun.
Lindell's been there forever, as far as I can remember. And Jill, how long? Where are you at in your channel? You're at what, 2 or 3 years, right?
That's an important philosophy to have, Mr. Lundell, is that this is a hobby, and if you're having fun, keep doing it. And yes, I'm coming up on 2 years next February.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, I also want to thank everybody in the chat who stopped by today. And I want to thank you guys who took time to jump on the panel. And thank you for everybody, because we have a wonderful, wonderful family in our greater nerd community. And I think it really, we all have our daily lives, our IRLs, our in real life situation. Mm-hmm. But I think the friends we have online have truly enriched our lives. Would you guys agree?
Oh, I definitely agree.
Yeah, this is fun.
My pod, my family, my friend, my pod is like my second family. Really good friends, and they helped me through a tough time this summer. And I love them all. And I love everybody in the community who can come on, and besides me cheering them up, they cheer me up.
I wouldn't have a channel if it weren't for the community. And yeah, great. Yeah, it's really great when we can support each other like that.
Yeah. And I do want to mention Gil, because we're going to do a stream for Gil. And I know pretty much everybody here. Well, I know that Raymond and Jill knew Gil. It was kind of a surprise, but we're going to try to do something nice. Gil and I did something together that we're going to rebroadcast, and I'm trying to find the right date for it, but we'll do that soon. And he's going to be very missed, I can say.
He is. He's missed quite often from me, for sure.
Yeah, for you.
I had just met Gil through Admiral Teague and through here, and I only got to know him for like maybe a couple months, but he pretty much welcomed me in with open arms, and I missed talking to him. Like, he was giving me pointers and just talking on a daily basis. So he's missed.
When I say that I was inspired by the community to start a channel, it was Gil who was badgering me to do something.
That's true.
Not kidding. I would go on his channel and say, well, I don't have a channel or anything. And he'd be like, why not?
Yeah, you've got something to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lady Miss. Thank you so much for that, Lady Miss. I appreciate that. And thank you for always being a great presence in the chat, Lady Miss. Thank you so much. I guess to end this on a high note, if anybody wants to say anything else about Gil, I think it's a nice place to end it.
Rest in peace, my friend. You deserve it.
Great. Rest in peace, Gil.
Yeah. And with his obsession with the paranormal, I would think that if anybody is, watching us right now from the other side, it would be definitely Gil. So
yeah, definitely. And this is his favorite time of year, Halloween, and he'd love to see all of the great content that we're coming up with, especially what Maria is doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Gil had so many wonderful ideas, and sometimes sometimes we there was a lot of stuff that he wanted to do, and he wanted to do, for example, with me, he wants stuff he wanted to do together, but sometimes we couldn't figure out how to make it work, or we wouldn't see eye to eye and stuff to do it. And so, but I got to say that his the stuff that we did do together was such a pleasure, and there's definitely we're definitely going to miss you, Gil. So with that being said, guys, I'm just going to go around really quick. Any last words, Mr. Lindell?
come by Saturday at 3 p.m. Have fun. We're gonna have fun watching zombies eat people. So.
All right. Any last words, Jill?
Oh yeah, sure. On Tuesday, I'm going to continue my discussions on the original series of Star Trek, and we finished season 2. And I'm really, really excited to talk about season 3 and all of the drama that occurred there. Because even though Star Trek is my favorite thing, season 3 is my weakest. So I'm going to get to build up my knowledge on that and enjoy whatever the chat also wants to teach me, aside from my regular research.
And those are some great reviews on Jill's channel. I urge people to be there for them and to go ahead and rewatch the ones that you haven't seen. Sci-fi Mambi, any last words? And congratulations on your 1-year anniversary coming up.
Thank you. Not much, except I'm happy to be a part of the community, and it's great that we can all come together, not only just around the Orville, but sci-fi in general.
Absolutely. King Dolphin of all dolphins, last word for you.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to plug that Jill is an amazing voice actress. I will tell her that. She is very good at voice acting. But please join the Podtober celebration. We are at the halfway point, and I am 11. I had 8 subscribers. YouTube must have decided to beat them down, but I'm about 11 subscribers away from 300. I'd like to get to that point before Podtober is over. So please come on by, join the celebration, join my community. It's a fun one, and I believe we like to make a difference in the YouTube community. So let's keep making waves. Also, catch my latest book, Blood Feud, out there on Amazon. So
awesome. Wow. Put in the links.
Wow. The whole trilogy's out there.
Yep, the whole trilogy's out there. So, thank you, Jill. And so let's keep making waves.
Well, thank you all, guys. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody in the chat too. Thank you, Prophet. Thank you, Ty. Good to see you, all you guys. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, James. And so many, we've had tons of sci-fi authors in here today, even on the panel. So thank you guys. Kronos, thank you to Bill, Lady Mist, FKHC. Good to see. Let me just scroll back as much as I can. DJ Ronnie, so many people popping in and out. Let me just scroll back. Dave's Dimension, Bill Barkley, everybody. Adega was in here, and Bird of Prey was in here, and so many people. I just can't keep track of everybody. That is about as far as I can go right now. So Connie, and thank you guys, everybody. You guys make this this experience. Everybody in the chat, everybody on the panel, everybody who's watching on the replay. You guys all make this experience such a wonderful experience for me. So thank you. Thanks to all of you. I say thank you to all of you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank you, PJ.
Let me see if PJ can find the right outro.
Channel.
And let's see if I can find the right outro. And meanwhile,
oh my God, we've been tricked. They're coming.
Captain, those are my wedding guests.
What?
Isaac, did you invite the whole planet?
Affirmative.
And we had so many people in here today, it felt like we had invited the whole Kalon planet. So thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
So